was hoping to catch a little bit of that on live.
Well, hello and welcome to Famicast 185, your Famicast for the early part of November 2020. I'm your host, Danny Bivens, and today I'm joined, as always, by James Charlton.
It's great to be alive / kill me now. Delete as appropriate.
Yes, please remain indoors.
We don't know the results yet, so.
Yep, that's right. Well, we do know the results of another member who is actually on the show today, and that is Mr. Cat Drugs, Ty Schubert himself.
JAPANews.
The results are negative.
Yes.
What's good?
Hey, man. So, another exciting show for you guys today. Lots of cool games to talk about. Some of you out there might not be having a good day. I hope that we can actually bring you some joy to your life. I don't know. That's going a little bit too far. But yeah, we're just going to talk about some cool games that we've been playing, some cool stuff that is on the horizon. We're going to kind of break down part of the partner direct that happened last week. Of course, it's not going to happen while we're, like on a week that we're actually doing a show. This is how this shit goes, right? But
yeah.
But anyways,
I don't know if it's good timing or bad timing to have a Nintendo Direct like this week. Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, you're probably right. But anyways, I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and get things kicked off with some new business. And yeah, I'll go ahead and kind of get it kicked off. And James is going to kind of help me out on this as well. But sorry, I'm dealing with like 50 windows here trying to do magic. Danny. Yeah. every time, I swear. But
every single episode, it's Danny going, can you wait? Can I? And just hold it. Do it already.
Yeah. Well, the game we're going to be talking about here, first off, is Hyrule Warriors: The Age of Calamity. So, of course, last week, it was announced that there's going to be a demo for this game. With the progress is going to be carrying over into the final build of the game. So, I checked it out a little bit, and James checked it out too. Ty, of course, played it 3 times through. No.
Yeah, I love Zelda clams.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously when this game was first announced, it kind of like came out of nowhere. And I myself, I know I was pleasantly surprised just thinking of like, okay, cool. We're going to be able to see some more stuff in this Breath of the Wild universe, kind of see the story leading up to the events that happened in Breath of the Wild. Of course, kind of like with Persona 5, people are like, oh, cool. And then some people learn like, oh, it's a Warriors game. And kind of tuck tail and go the other way. And I can understand that sentiment because sometimes that series, this is not for everybody, so I get it. But
yeah, this series has a reputation for getting people excited and then letting them down. It's like, oh great, we get another one of my insert favorite series here. Oh no, it's not. It's this game.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I've said this on several episodes, and I'll say it again. At least with the Persona 5 Scramble, the Warriors Persona game, like that kind of defied my expectations of what to expect from a game in this series. Namely, just like the visual aspect of it, they completely nailed it. Storytelling and stuff, they completely nailed that. They even added in RPG elements. And, the Warriors combat, yes, it was there, but they changed it enough to where it actually felt unique. It didn't feel like I was playing just a regular Warriors game. But let's talk about some Zelda. So James, how much of the demo did you actually play?
I got up to the point where you've got the map and you can choose where you want to go next. So I guess I think that's the first mission, isn't it? Up to the first mission, which is quite long.
Yeah.
So I got like it'd be a couple of lengthy cutscenes in, and then it shows me the map and it's like, where do you want to go next? And you can select like maybe 3 or 4 places on the Breath of the Wild map, which is the exact map from Breath of the Wild, except you're not in Breath of the Wild. It's weird. Right. Except you're just teleporting to places on the map. You're not actually walking there.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. And that's exactly where I got to as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I will say, like, when it first started out, I like the cinematics and stuff like that it was showing. I think visually the game looks pretty much like Breath of the Wild. I can't really, obviously when you got like more and more, like multiple enemies and stuff on the screen, it doesn't look, it doesn't look terrible or anything, but it's like, okay, well, there are like literally hundreds of characters on the screen and stuff, so it's going to have to take some kind of a dip somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I was obviously initially down on it because it was a Musou game, and then I saw some more videos of it, and the story trailers, and I thought, oh, this, my interest peaked up again. And then I have my weird situation with my game vouchers where I'm kind of forced to choose a game, and this did look like the best of the choices,
Mm-hmm.
So I was my attitude going in was like, I have to like this. I have to give it a shot. I have to kind of like give this series another shot, And yeah, it just quickly turned into the game that I don't like, and it's just like, like. The thing is, because it looks so much like Breath of the Wild, it is really bizarre. It is weird because it's like everything, the sound effects, like the animations, the enemies, the maps is so authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And the items, it's even got like the friggin' like, the inventory screen is like exactly from Breath of the Wild. It's so weird. But it does feel like, like a Chinese knockoff, because you can't, all of those things that you can do in Breath of the Wild, like cook or go wherever you want or climb whatever you want, you can't do any of it. So like, there's this bit, there's a part of the stage which I'm very familiar with. If anyone who's played Breath of the Wild, you probably recognize it. And there's a ladder there, and you kind of run towards it, and Link just kind of glitches through it and just kind of runs, towards it, and he's kind of like running through the ladder at like 100 miles an hour. That weird kind of floaty, kind of janky in my opinion. That floaty, janky kind of walking animation that all of these Warriors games have, where the character just seems to move way too fast and just kind of like, just janky looking, So it's like this Breath of the Wild Link, but he's lost all of his powers. He doesn't have he can't even climb a fucking fence. He just like glitches through it, or can't even climb a ladder, It's just very, very weird. And as soon as anything kind of remotely Warriors-y happens, it just takes me out of it. I'm like, I'm playing one of these games. It's not it's not Breath of the Wild. But like, it's almost like if you didn't play it, if you just looked at the cutscenes and looked at the game world and just didn't do anything, you would be totally convinced. It's so authentic in everything except the movement.
Sure. And that was kind of a complaint I had with Persona 5 Scramble on the Switch too. The movement can sometimes just be too fast, and that's not a thing that's just only a problem in that game. That's just a Warriors thing, and there's really nothing that you can do about that. I mean, I will say that it is kind of nice that you will start out slow enough, but then when you start going, you are literally like sprinting, and it can be kind of off-putting. It can be kind of hard to keep track of things. I mean, you can control the camera with the joystick, or you can just press like one of the shoulder buttons to get it repositioned, which is really helpful. But
I mean, it's like, do they have to use that same gameplay engine every single time? There's like, is there like some kind of rule against it? Like, why not just start with the Breath of the Wild engine and speed that up, or give them extra moves for that?
I think that would be kind of a taller order. I think it this is an engine, at least to some extent, that they've been using. With the Warriors game, that's something that they've been using for years and years and years, but for better or worse, depends on how you feel about it. But James, I will say, just when the demo opened up, I was just, because I don't know, I was just remembering all of the good times I had with Persona 5 Scramble, and I was like, it kind of set itself apart. But this, at least the first right off the bat thing, was like, okay, this is a Warriors game. But I kind of have a thought about that. It could be a thing where it's like, obviously people that are getting into this, well, not obviously, but some people that are getting into this, that's what they want. And they want to show the fans that, like, yes, we have this. So like, it's possible that maybe, the further you get into the game, that there are going to be maybe some more confined spaces, or, other stuff like that. Maybe some more exploration aspects and stuff too, because like I said, with Persona 5 Scramble, there's a lot of exploration stuff that has no combat whatsoever, which was really cool and made it just feel like not a Warriors game at all. And one of the things that you can do with with Phantom Strikers is you can just turn on easy mode, literally, if you don't give a shit about the gameplay. That way you can just blow through enemies, bosses, and stuff like that, and just pay attention to what you want if you just want to do the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But I think the open field parts work better because you're in the Hyrule field or whatever, laying down thousands of enemies, and that does feel good. And they've got the combos, which is, I guess it's the same combos in every Warriors game, just YYX, YYX.
More or less. I mean, there's some variety depending on the characters, and obviously in the demo you can play as Impa as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Impa, I didn't really understand Impa's weapon, to be honest. It's like she fires out these runes, and then you kind of have to collect the runes, and then that causes more damage. I didn't really get that.
Yeah, I was kind of, I really wanted to play more of it, but man, sometimes I swear to God, like every time before a podcast starts, I'm like hell bent on like, okay, I am really gonna like get super into XYZ, and then I only get about half into it as much as I want. You know what I mean? And then here we are.
I played as Zelda as well.
Oh, okay. Seriously?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that happens at the part that I talked about when you got the map select and stuff. Maybe I played a little bit of the next mission 2, and that's when Zelda gets unlocked, and she has the Sheikah Slate, or the Sheikah Stone, as it's in Japanese, and she basically makes those kind of ice blocks, from the original game Breath of the Wild, and it's weird because they do have the I forgot what you call it, the Sheikah Slate moves. What do you call those? The 4, the magnesis and all the time stopping one, all that kind of stuff. They've got all of.
Yeah.
What's that?
Bombs and stuff too.
Yeah, runes. I'm just trying to think the collective word for all of those. I've forgotten.
Yeah, I know, man. It's been like 3.5 years.
But they've got all of those, and you can use. They've obviously made them more warriorsy. Like when Link has the bombs, he throws out like 20 bombs like really really quickly, and then you've got to wait for it to that to charge up, and then you can do another one of those moves. And Zelda's the same way. She's got the magnesis one where she'll lock onto like a metal object in the stage, and then you can kind of just swing it around and just bash into people and stuff. That was kind of fun. But and there are times when you can do that to enemies. Like if an enemy's holding a big axe, she can grab the axe out of his hand and bash it around. But it didn't work with all the enemies. So it was one of those things. Like the genius thing about Breath of the Wild is that anything you think of works. Like the engine is so solid. Like any metallic object, you can stick a magnet to it, and it'll electricity will flow through it. You can solve puzzles in infinite amounts of ways because of how solid that engine is. This game doesn't have that, obviously. it's a lot more.
Could it be a reason because like the moblins and stuff like that, they typically don't have metal weapons? Usually it's like clubs though, right? Yeah.
It could be that thing. It looked metal to me, but it didn't work. It was weird anyway. But the ice thing coming from the ground, which is from Breath of the Wild, you can do that anywhere as Link, and when enemies charge at you, you do that thing at the right time, and he'll slam into the ice, and then he'll be stunned, and then you can wail at him. And it's got the flurry attack as well, right? If you do a perfect dodge, so you can do the flurry attacks as well. So the bigger enemies have a lot more damage, can take a lot more damage than they could in the original Breath of the Wild. They've made little bosses out of regular enemies in Breath of the Wild. They've made them into kind of almost like boss characters.
Sure.
Which is
well, it's like and with Warriors games too. If you guys out there, and James, I know you don't play a ton of them either, but especially in that first mission, all these different sections have like you said, kind of like these mini bosses, and typically it's like that in a Warriors game too. Each little section that is kind of taken over by an enemy is going to have like a chief, if you will, that you got to take out. I mean, you could take out as many of the little guys as you want, but primarily you really need to focus on the big dog, and then you could win back that location and kind of move on in the mission.
Yeah, the map, it's like, putting things on the mini map in the corner. That's like in every Warriors game, and switching between characters and trying to direct people the way you want them to go. And it's just like clear this room full of enemies, go into the next one, clear this room full of enemies. So like, you know, I've said this phrase before, and you know, it's you can't polish a turd. You can't polish it. They really have tried to they polish the shit out of this turd. It is a very shiny, beautiful, Zelda-looking, Zelda-smelling, but you know, the inside is still a turd. In my opinion, still a Warriors game.
Well, James,
But,
you know, I'm glad that you actually tried it out, because I like to shit on you and just be like, well, you can shit all over this series, but you like never played it.
Never played it.
Like, no, man. Like at this point, hey, I can't say anything against it. You gave it a shot. You just don't like it.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
totally respectable.
The demo's got more to it, right? Like it's quite a lengthy demo. I don't know.
Yeah, like
I almost forgot I was playing a demo, because at no point did it say this is a demo, you can't do this. It was like pretty much like the full game. I don't know how long you can play this. So,
yeah, I think it said like the first chapter or something like that.
Okay, I don't know
Something like that.
how many missions is in a chapter, but
yeah, nobody knows.
Yep. Yeah, I think open field stuff is better than the, you know, more closed ones. Like I was on like the second one that I tried with Princess Zelda. It was like in the desert kind of area, and you know, there's lots of like confined things and objects and ladders and all of these things and houses and things kind of buried in the sand. None of it which you can interact with. None of it which you can touch. You just kind of, you know, you're just walking like this into stuff. And
Sure.
the guy's like legs are running at like 100 miles an hour, but you're not actually moving. It's just like, it just looks so janky, you know.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about, like I said, I'm making a lot of comparisons to Persona 5 Scramble, but yeah, I mean, there are some wide open areas in that place, but like with that game, it was a little bit different because you had to be stealthy. That was like part of that whole game. You're sneaking up on enemies. You're like, there's a button that you can press to basically jolt or makes you jump onto things, and then you see an enemy and you can press X and you'll jump down and literally rip his face off, and then have
That's
a fight.
more like Batman Arkham series than Persona, isn't it?
Kind of, but I mean, like I said, I've never played an actual Persona game, but you know, obviously in an RPG, you're not running around fields with hundreds of guys, you know, and stuff like
Ripping
that.
heads off.
Yeah, but you know, it made sense in that setting, because then maybe if you would alert somebody way too quickly or something like that, some more enemies will come in and all that type of crap. But yeah, but I will say that sometimes the tight areas, like you said, with the camera stuff in the Warriors engine, it can be a little bit tough. Even, you know, I would imagine even just using the trigger to center it behind you, it still can be kind of weird, I bet.
Yeah, it gets stuck. It gets stuck a lot as well. Metal Mike has got a comment here in the chat. He says, "Hey guys, love the demo. The Warriors gameplay loop is a great fit for the epic battles portrayed in the prequel story."
I can get behind that, because that is what this is about. I mean, Link, it's so cool seeing him in like this armor, you know, like he's an actual like Hylian soldier, as opposed to like, you know, supposedly this hero of time that is unique. It's like, no, he's just basically a nobody who's kind of rising up the ranks. So that's pretty cool.
Lord of the Rings would make a good Warriors game, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
you got like thousands of orcs and like smashing through them. I guess they're kind of going for that vibe with this, you know. There's like, maybe it's a little bit of Two Towers vibes to the beginning of this game, right? Like the king sends out all the soldiers to protect the castle, and they're kind of surrounding it, and they're being swarmed by moblins or whatever.
That doesn't happen in the Two Towers games. They escape to Helm's Deep and
Helm's Deep, yes. Helm's Deep kind of scene. It's kind of a little bit reminding me of that.
But it's not in an open field. They're literally trapped in it.
Yes, okay.
Nerd. Yeah, exactly. No, but I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed by the demo in a sense, but at the same time, like, I'm not gonna write it off just yet. I'm buying this game. I'm buying the treasure box version here in Japan, which is not cheap.
$120 well spent. Either way,
it's probably about 150, but
oh, God.
Yeah,
that's the thing, isn't it? Even the basic version is like $90. You know.
Yeah, Koei Tecmo games are notoriously expensive. And James, were you playing the Japanese version? Or are you playing version from in English?
Yeah, I was playing it in English. I got it from the European eShop.
Okay, yeah,
because ultimately my game voucher is a European one, so
sure.
I would made sure that the demo I played was the European one.
Yeah, and like I'm the same way, but with the Japanese one, because like I pre-ordered the Japanese one. The Japanese version is only going to be in Japanese, and we've talked about this before, especially with Koei Tecmo, Square Enix, the biggest culprits of this. Basically, I mean, in a sense, region locking their games.
Yep.
Japan, Japanese only.
Well, language locking. That's the phrase that I invented.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's stupid. I'd like to play it in English, but at the same time, I'm getting it physical because I wanted this collector's edition and stuff like that. So, whatever. It's not that bad. There's like furigana all over the place, so you can read, letters above the kanji if you can't read it. So it's not that bad.
Yeah, I noticed that the title screen that you threw up had furigana above even the title.
Yeah,
which is kind of rare.
Yeah,
yeah. I think the part which kind of like made me kind of almost give up on the demo was in that second mission as I was playing with Zelda. There was all these things happening across the map, and it was telling me to go to these places and get these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to what I thought were the things I needed to get, but like nothing happened. And it's like, okay, is this the wrong thing, or did I get the third thing instead of getting the first thing? So it hasn't like activated it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is completely different from regular Breath of the Wild, which is like do whatever you want. It doesn't matter, mate. You can get things in any order you want, do whatever you want, take it whatever time you want. But like having this kind of like time limits and like Princess Zelda's going to die if you don't kill 100 moblins in the next 20 seconds. It's like, okay, where is she? I don't know where the fuck she is. It's like time on the map. It's like it's just like adding all of this, extra stress and but surrounded by, not unresponsive gameplay, but like floaty or very little
not as precise as Nintendo, but
right.
about as precise as it's going to be for a Warriors game, for better or worse, whether you like it or not.
You can lock onto enemies and like dodge them, but you're clicking in the stick to lock on, which is just so weird. It's like, in what Zelda game do you ever click in the right stick to do a Z target? It's called Z targeting, for God's sake.
No, it's called red stick targeting. I think you've been wrong this whole time.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, out there, if you guys, Metal Mike already made a comment about it and stuff, but if you guys out there have been enjoying it, just, let us know. If you're planning on picking it up, let us know about that too. We can get to your comments here a little bit later, but yeah.
But I appreciate that. This with Pikmin 3 demo and this Age of Calamity demo, how it's quite a lengthy demo and it doesn't just kick you out after 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Or limit you to 5 tries of the demo, all the other bullshit that Nintendo have done in the past. It's like, no, you got, as much time as you want. It's like basically the first, 10% of the game for free.
Yeah.
And then if you do like it, buy the whole game and all the save carries forward. And I think that is something Nintendo should do with all their games from now on.
Yeah. I think so too.
Cool.
All right. Well, aside from this, I've been playing a lot of Hades, which we've talked about a lot on the show. Seriously, in the month of October, I put in about 30 hours or something in like a 2-week period. Freaking great game. If you guys out there haven't picked it up yet, it might even be on sale now. It was recently, but check it out. And you can get it probably even cheaper on Steam. So yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't already. Fun as hell. So all right. Well, James, I know this wasn't the only game you've been playing. So what else have you been up to, man?
Yeah, I got it was kind of bad timing in a way because immediately after the Halloween episode, the last episode, 184, we got a lovely review code for a Halloween game. Which is like, oh, okay. I wish you'd sent me that earlier. Could have talked about it on the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
It's called Pumpkin Jack. And it's very 90s 3D platformer vibes to it. And everyone, I streamed this game for like a couple of hours, and people kept on saying, this is Medieval, which is a PlayStation game, which I've never played, but I do know about Medieval. It's, what is it, skeleton dude, big head kind of thing.
Yeah.
I do know of it, all those janky ass 3D platformers that PlayStation guys love, and they say this is better than Mario 64. all
Yeah,
that
okay. I
It's
I wouldn't go that far, but I wouldn't go as far too, because like some of these games, I, I haven't played all of them. Not even a good majority of them, but you know, I imagine as a PlayStation fan, it was nice to at least have some kind of a platform, and some of them actually, you know, are pretty charming and maybe actually pretty good, considering the hardware and all that type of stuff. So,
Crash Bandicoot is the best 3D platform ever made, closely followed by Spyro the Dragon, then Medieval, and then, you know, way down in the list is like, you know, Mario or whatever.
of course.
So
All right, I'm looking at this this game on YouTube, and I just randomly clicked the like a part in like a full playthrough, and there's this part where he's like just like dancing like really awesome for a minute straight, while bones fall from the sky, and like
I haven't got
this
to that
game
bit.
has like this insane colored lighting.
Mhm.
Is it?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks like a great game to play while on acid.
Yeah, now you mention it, there's parts where he removes his head just randomly,
Just randomly, or for gameplay purposes.
for gameplay purposes.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it's fun actually. I really like it. It's very, like I said, 90s platformer vibe, and it's, you know, it's not quite Rareware standard, but it's like, you know, if it was on the PlayStation guys would love it. You know, it's like they'd be the best 3D platformer on the system.
Sure.
It's got good jumping mechanics. It's quite quick.
Yeah, I see him double jumping and shooting
Double jump.
ghosts with a shotgun.
Yep. You get a new weapon after the end of every world, which kind of like, well, it doesn't replace your weapon, but you basically encouraged to use that one going forward. There's no real reason to go back to your other weapons after that. But it's pretty cool. You're playing as like a, you know, almost like a scarecrow kind of guy with a pumpkin for his head. And the story is like everyone on Earth is being killed by monsters. Like basically, you know, what may have already happened by the time you're listening to this. Like the whole world has been taken over by the devil and everyone has been killed. But
I gotta say, like every single part of this game is really appealing to me right now.
yeah. I think you might like it. What was I saying? But then there's a wizard, a good wizard, who's trying to save the world. So you're playing as the bad guy trying to kill the magician.
Yeah.
The magician who's trying to save the Earth. You have to kill him because you're the bad guy. So it's kind of funny. But then weirdly, the monsters don't know that you're working for the devil, so they still try to attack you, which is just an excuse to like why the monsters are still attacking you. But anyway,
sure.
whatever.
Well, at least they explained it. In some games, it would just happen. You'd be like, whoa, wait a second, what the hell? But
you got a pretty funky little crow that rests on your shoulder, and you can press the L button, and he'll fly out and hit people. Like if you see like an L target, like lock on, he'll just fly towards it and hit it. It's not very strong. Like if there's like some, you know, regular enemies, it might take 2 hits, but it takes like, you know, a couple of seconds to charge up again. But I think that's really fun actually. Like if you see someone out in the distance, you just like send him out, boom, knock him off his perch or whatever. It's pretty funny. But most of the attacks are just like using, you know, melee weapons. But you do, like Ty said, you know, you do get a gun later on as well. And it actually changes the way he walks as well, which is pretty cool. Like you start off with like I think it's like a shovel, and he's walking around. But like the second weapon you get, he starts like to float. You know, he's not actually walking anymore. And then when he's got his gun, the way he walks is different as well. The checkpoints are pretty well laid out. Like pretty much after every hard bit, there'll be like a save point. But there are some very hard minecart sections, which is another great 90s reference they've thrown in there. And they can last like maybe a few minutes. And if you die at any point in it, you get taken right back to the beginning. So you could be like, you know, doing a minecart stage for like 5 minutes and then die at the end and then do it all again. Which wouldn't be too bad, but the loading is a little bit long. It's if the loading was like, you know, instant, I think that's pretty much my only knock against the game actually, is that the loading it takes a little bit too long, because you don't really get punished for like dying. Like you just get put back just a few meters back from where you died, it's no big deal. But the biggest punishment is like just waiting. It's like waiting. It's just a little bit too long, which I'm not really accustomed to. Like pretty much every 3D platformer I play, it's just like boom, you're in there. You never think about it. But there's a smaller team. Sure. But it's fun. I mean, they got the minecart sections and like horse riding sections. Like, well, obviously it's a ghostly skeleton horse, but it's the perfect game to play on Halloween, which is what I did. I did play on Halloween. And,
I watched some of your first gameplay video. It's like 30 minutes or something, and man, it looked really good. And I mean, aside from like you said, those kind of long load times after dying, it looked like a pretty good 3D little platformer there. Looked like sometimes the combat can maybe be a little bit tough. It's just all about like making dodges and shit like that. I saw like some of that stuff.
When I was streaming it, I might have been Metal Mike actually. I can't remember. Somebody said that there's no invincibility frames in this game, which is true. Which is why the combat's a little bit hard because if you're getting swarmed by enemies, you just like you're being hit like hundreds of times, and there's no way out of it. Sometimes you do have a roll, but like sometimes there are a lot of enemies, and you can die if you're not don't take out enemies in time. You got to watch out. Not be swarmed. And the platforming, like I said, is good, but like if it's like very small platforms that you're jumping on, he has got a little bit of a slide to him, a little bit of a skid, and his turning circle is really large. So if you're on a small platform, like near the edge, and you just turn to the right, you'll just fall off because it's like he's not just turning on a dime, he's like turning like he's going around in a big circle, so
a little bit more momentum.
A little bit momentum to it, and his feet, his legs are really big. So it's like this big footed guy on this tiny platform. It's it's kind of easy to fall off. But there's some good action sequences to it, and it is fun. And if you can just like forgive the loading and just forgive a little bit of the jankiness, there's a little bit of glitching through walls and stuff like that, things that you kind of expect from like $20 indie games of this kind of thing. I'd say it's worth a shot. I mean, definitely if you see it on sale and it looks good to you, it's a no-brainer. I would say go for it. It's
a shame that it came out like on the 23rd or something like that. Like, man, they should have had that shit out in like September at least or something, give it some room to breathe.
Oh beginning of October would have been good.
But oh well.
But maybe they did rush it out at the end because it does have a couple of glitches in there. They just really wanted to get it out for Halloween.
Probably.
Yeah.
Before do you have one more game to talk about, James, or?
Did I write something down? I can't remember now. I think that's it. I've been talking for a while.
Okay.
No. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna before we move on to time, I was gonna highlight a couple of comments here that we got here over the past couple of minutes. One from good buddy James Allen. Hello, chaps. Fashionably late as always. Was listening to the first bit in the car. Interesting chat on Hyrule Warriors. It was on my Christmas list. May wait now. And we also got another comment from Justin. He said, would have loved it if Hyrule Warriors 2 took notes from Dragon Quest Heroes 2 and Persona Scramble. The Warriors gameplay is too stale as a genre in my opinion, but when it's paired with more exploration and actual gameplay, it becomes enjoyable. And I think that's what I was trying to say, probably failing miserably. But with the Persona stuff, just mixing it up a little bit, not just having pure gameplay, could make it maybe take that step further. Again, this is just a demo. So like this isn't the full picture. So that might happen. We don't know yet. So cross our fingers. Hope we don't die. But anyway, Ty.
Yes.
What's up for us, man?
Oh, gosh. It's kind of same old. But like recently I've taken a liking to playing Minecraft again.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Because it's kind of the perfect game to play when you just when you listen to a podcast, actually, such as this one.
Because
like You know, for long stretches of time in Minecraft, like nothing happens. You're like just digging holes or whatever.
Sure.
So it's pretty good just to like chill out. It's a very chill kind of game, and you listen to a podcast about burning down society or whatever, as I usually do.
Right.
Yeah, and it fits pretty well. So I've been doing that for a while recently. Feels good.
Cool.
What else? Still working on that Dead by Daylight grind.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay.
You know, they've added new updates. They're doing the new battle pass, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, and I mentioned last time, I think the visual upgrades the game is getting. Hopefully it doesn't chug too bad on the Switch version.
Oh, it probably will. Yeah, it probably will.
Yeah, well, hopefully they make some more optimizations as well as visual improvements. That would be nice. Sure. I actually just bought a couple games I've been putting off because they were on sale. I got A Hat in Time and I got Axiom Verge.
Ooh,
yeah, cool. Games we've discussed numerous times on this podcast. So I'm gonna do that.
Well, I know with A Hat in Time, one of our listeners, Ricky, it's one of his. I don't know if it's one of his favorite games, but I know he loves it and says it's pretty awesome. He tried to get me to buy it. I just haven't. There's so many things I need to buy. So many things I already have that I haven't even played.
Yeah.
But
I like to listen to the music from the game sometimes, even though I haven't played it yet. You know, I love the music from the game. I'm like, okay, I'll get it. And it's half off on Xbox right now.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah. That's on Switch, isn't it?
It's on Switch.
Yeah,
it came out last year, I think, or something, or earlier this year.
Not a new game.
No.
By any stretch.
Yeah, definitely not.
I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I did get around to playing some River City Girls.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
A little bit. Yeah, now that I fully completed Streets of Rage 4. Amazing game, by the way.
Okay.
So I might be working on... Actually, I think the next game I'm going to work on... I don't remember if this came out on Nintendo or not. I think it did. The fucking Shadow of Mordor game.
Oh, no, that did not. Dude, you talking about the first one or the second one?
I don't even know.
Because like there's shit. The titles, I mean, you could mistake one of them for the first one or the second one. It literally doesn't matter. But yeah, I played the first one of those like back in 2014. We talked about it. I talked about it on the show way back then.
Yeah.
What a freaking cool game, man.
Yeah, I was reading like some game developer / some thread somewhere about like cool video game details, and they were talking about Shadow of Mordor, how it had this rival enemy that recurs.
Yes,
and it's like like kind of like dynamic and kind of like based on what you do, and like so many games should steal this feature, but none have.
Yeah. Dude,
so,
I mean,
that's what actually put it on my backlog to play. And just the other day, I saw they're gonna discontinue like a couple of features of it that relies on a server.
Okay.
It's at least on the Xbox version. I don't know if it's all versions, but like there's gonna be like a couple of features and thus unattainable achievements after December 31st. 2020. So I'm gonna try to knock out that game next.
Yeah, it's powered by the cloud, isn't it?
Powered by the clown.
Yeah, man. Like you said, that whole rival system, it was so cool. And one thing
I read a lot of funny stories,
dude. I mean, you could take out those guys like multiple times, but I think it's if you don't literally cut off their head, they will come back and get your ass stronger, like each and every single time. I think one guy I killed like 5 or 6 times, and that's just almost a recipe for disaster for yourself because they get so damn strong. And what's cool too, because they retain this stuff visually as well. Like let's say you lopped off an arm or something like that, he'll come back with like a stitched on arm, or like you could see like, oh, okay, I messed this dude up on like X, Y, or Z, and then like you see it. It's just so cool.
Yeah, and I hear sometimes it's incredibly funny. Like sometimes they have a title like The Polite, and they're always super nice to you when they try to kill you.
I didn't run into that one. That'd be great.
That's one I heard about. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's if it's the first one, I can tell you it's a lot of fun. Yeah, report back on
Yeah.
that, man.
I
I'm
will. I
interested to
will.
hear.
It's I actually have it, like the physical disc, I think.
Whew,
So
okay,
it's in one of these boxes somewhere.
gotcha.
Good luck finding it. Ty,
Uh,
Ty, are you a fan of the Lord of the Rings games or books or anything?
no,
Okay. Enjoy.
I will.
Yeah, you do. Even if you're not a fan of it, it doesn't matter. That game is just so cool. If you are a fan, it makes it even cooler. But yeah,
Right.
this is a video game.
Lord of the Rings is just a Harry Potter ripoff anyway, right, Dan?
That's right.
Right?
Absolutely right.
Never heard of it.
God.
Danny, I think a vein just popped out of Danny's forehead.
Yeah. Oh man,
Nice.
I'm dying here, guys.
I love it.
But I would say actually the main game I've been playing recently is Phasmophobia, and I have a feeling we're gonna come back to that later.
I don't know why you keep talking about Phantasmagoria. I played that in the 90s. It was all
Oh,
right.
is that Phantasmagoria, the F&B game? That's the funniest shit I've seen in my life.
I
Some of the best acting
I'm
ever.
so glad you know about that fucking game. Dude.
have no frame of reference here. I'm like a child wandering into a conversation that you have just no idea.
Okay. Phantasmagoria is like an early F&B game when like the whole CD-ROM multimedia craze took off in the 90s.
Right.
Okay.
And as you might expect from like a full motion video game, it sucks. It has the worst acting and the worst special effects, and
Yep.
and this also has some good old ultra violence too. So
Oh.
it's just like one of the funniest fucking things you've seen in the world when like this fucking Jim Henson Muppet like fucking rips this woman's head in half, and it looks so janky.
Jesus.
And then it says game over.
It's basically like a watermelon with a wig on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my first girlfriend.
Right? So yeah, I would recommend to anyone out there, just look up like Phantasmagoria Death.
Yeah, I've got Ty saying it now. He's not going to be able to remember the game he's actually playing.
Phantasmagoria Death. Just look that up on YouTube. It's so fucking funny.
All right.
But the actual game I'm playing, Phasmophobia. Thank you.
Yeah. Good job.
It's like a hot viral game, hot on the heels of Among Us.
Right.
And it's incredibly fun and addictive. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but just in case you don't know it, it's a game where you're like an idiot ghost hunter and you go in a spooky house to find some random ghost.
Yeah.
With,
it's like, I think you're talking about in the last episode. It kind of how you were explaining it to me, it reminded me of those stupid TV shows that you see on TV in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in this case, they're actually it's a game, but you're finding real ghosts as opposed to the other one. It's just
with like your fucking Radio Shack gizmo and your shitty camera.
And the chicken of the group could hide in the van the whole time, which would be me.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a really stressful game sometimes, but it's also really funny if you're playing it with other people. So many funny YouTube videos. Yeah, and I think I mentioned before, it's kind of like a puzzle game where you're trying to detect like certain behaviors or actions.
Right.
You check those boxes and you figure out what that ghost is, and then you fucking bail out of there.
Yeah. I remember you saying like different things, like, if there's obviously something like cold air or something, it could be this ghost or something. If there's X, Y, or Z, it could be this kind of ghost or something. And it sounded like there's a pretty good collection of ghosts, like not just kind of like janky random, like no name stuff, but actually like kind of like stuff from, myths and legends.
Yeah. There's 12 flavors of ghost. And the most aggressive one is the demon. And I've only gotten it twice. I don't know if I'm just lucky or unlucky, but both times I got it, it was intensely hilarious. One was my friend's very first game that he ever played. He got a demon.
Oh boy.
And then I got another one with one of my buddies. It just like immediately attacked and fucking ganked him.
God.
like first thing it did, and it's like, holy shit. It, it was really funny, actually. So yeah, great game. Try it out. It's like $13 early access.
Yeah, maybe when it goes into like, you know, not early access, maybe that'll be coming to the Switch. It seems like a lot of games. Well, some games do.
Yeah, maybe.
It'd be fun. It sounds fun, man. It sounds like it'd be especially fun, like with the three of us playing together. That'd be pretty
yes,
cool.
it would be perfect if you guys weren't a bunch of fucking Mac users. But
yeah, right. I know.
Wow.
I
thought you guys liked video
as
games.
you can tell. As you could tell from my Phantasmagoria stage, I wasn't always a Mac user.
Right.
Jesus Christ. What happens to a man to turn him into a Mac user?
You don't want to know.
What unholy
Too many
pair.
blue screens of death, my boy. Too many blue screens of death.
See, I don't get BSODs because like I'm good at putting together computers. You damn kids.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, that's what I've been playing.
Okay, cool. Well, that is going to do it for new business. So next we're going to go ahead and move on to now playing at Famicast.com. Now playing at Famicast.com, of course, lots of stuff going on the YouTube channel, lots of stuff going on the website, and all sorts of stuff like that. So we're just going to go ahead and just kind of hit you in the face with the whole bag full of stuff that we've been doing. So, James, would you want to, or could you please start us out?
Now playing on the Famicast.com. Well, yeah, my aforementioned Pumpkin Jack stream and gameplay. You got an option. You can either watch whatever it is, 30 minutes of no commentary gameplay, or listen to me and interact with a few of the guys on the stream. It's a good time. Yeah, I recommend the stream. Actually, it's funny. We have some good times. You can watch me struggle through this really annoying boss, which I do eventually beat. But yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, good times. Pumpkin Jack. Danny?
Cool. A couple of things. This is mainly just stuff that is coming up here in the future. But man, I've been meaning to actually get another Famicast retro video out that I have like a script ready to go. I have capture of everything ready to go. I just have to basically put everything together. So if it's not going to be this week, hopefully it's going to be next week. It's a classic game that nobody probably cares about, but I'm doing it anyway. And
actually, Danny, there's another thing I forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot to mention it, and I probably should have mentioned it in new business as well. Control Cloud Edition.
Yes,
I played that.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So I mean, but yeah, yes.
But if you want to see some gameplay of a clown version of Control being streamed from Japan, check it out. I got there's a couple of options, like a standard performance and a advanced visual performance, whatever. There's two versions. I did both.
Yeah.
So you can see a comparison. It's basically like, PC on high settings or PC on low settings kind of thing.
Yeah. Which, man, that's something I want to talk about when we get to that in the news and stuff like that, because that's interesting to me. And yeah, one other thing, next week, as many of you are well aware, there are some big new consoles hitting the market, but none is bigger than the Nintendo Game & Watch Super Mario Edition, which is coming out on the 13th. I have one pre-ordered here locally. I have one pre-ordered from Nintendo Japan. So one is going to remain in the box for about 50 years, and then I'll sell it when whoever wants to go through my remains can, sell that or whatever. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to have a video up of that as soon as possible next week. So look forward to that if you're on the fence, or if it's just impossible for you guys to find, because I know pre-orders for that have been kind of pretty hard to get. So, but yeah. So I think that about covers it, James, don't you?
Yeah, unless I'm totally forgetting something. Check out the Famicast YouTube channel for more.
Yes.
New content every day, probably.
at least once a month.
Every couple of days.
All this and more at the Famicast on YouTube and Famicast.com.
Dead game.
All right, James. You know what time it is.
JAPANews. It's probably a lot better than the real news.
Yeah, probably. And yes, it is time for JAPANews. This is the time of the show where we talk about all of the latest comings and goings of Nintendo in Japan, or none of the above, but usually part of that is in there. So, as I'm sure all of you guys are out there are well aware, including Ty, maybe. No, there was a Nintendo Direct Mini that happened last week on October 28th, the Partner Direct for October, which happened to be the last Partner Direct of the year. As they literally said at the beginning of the video, which kind of disappointed me for a few reasons, which we'll get into later. But I didn't want to like go into everything because some things, honestly, I don't care about, or Ty cares about either. So I think we should talk about these things that we have here. And
I care about some of these things.
Yeah, right. So actually, James, do you want to take that first bit? Because this has actually direct history to you as a gaming quote-unquote journalist.
Yes, I am a professional gaming journalist, as everyone knows.
Yes.
So yeah, this actually just popped up during my Pumpkin Jack stream, and somebody just said it in the chat. It's like, hey, No More Heroes. And No More Heroes 2 is just, being stealth dumped on the eShop. And there it is. It was true.
Yeah.
$20 for both, for each.
Yeah.
Which is, 2,000 yen on the Japanese eShop.
Yeah.
These are the HD versions of the game featuring waggle control via the Joy-Con, or traditional controls if you want.
Oh, thank God.
Friend of the show, Lemonade, has some footage of the first game up on his YouTube channel. Be sure to check it out. And also, Alex Kolafi has a review for the Switch version up on NWR. Okay, we're promoting NWR again. Cool.
Well, I didn't say it. Hey, Alex does good work, and you should check out his review if you guys are thinking about.
Well, yeah, if you're looking for No More Heroes content on NWR, check out the world exclusive preview written by a fresh-faced gaming journalist called James Charlton.
Never heard of it.
For his first piece on NWR. Yeah, that was my first preview ever. Seriously. I was probably the first guy to go to TGS for a while at NWR at the time. Yeah, and that was the first game I previewed. So I played like an early build of the first game. It was good times. Yeah, I think I liked it. I checked. I recently went back and checked that page. Mm-hmm. And holy shit, the comments on that, the Nintendo World Report forum, holy shit, basically descended into chaos. It was nothing to do with my preview. It's just like, I don't know, the people on the forums at that time, holy shit.
Like what? I mean, I saw you had mentioned that on Twitter, but I didn't like go digging. Like, what the hell? I mean, I know message boards and stuff like that were completely different than like what they are now.
It was an innocent time back then, Danny. People were very concerned about graphics. Very concerned about graphics. So the Wii being this underpowered thing was hurting the egos of a lot of people back then. So to have No More Heroes like a quote unquote violent third-person game, but then it looks like cel-shaded and super simplified and everything. That kind of like irked a lot of people. I liked it. I said it's a cool visual style, and I thought it works. It looks cool. And then people was like, "No, why does he have head like a square?" or something like that.
That's exactly how I read the voices of message board randos.
Right, exactly. They all sound like that.
Yes.
Xbox 360 have more polygon than this. Why so few polygon? So yeah, that was in No More Heroes, and then what was that? 2007, I think it was.
Shoot. Yeah, I think that was all the way back in 7. Yeah, jeez. Been a long
13
time.
years, 13 years in the game. There it is. Still doing it.
Yeah, my God.
If anything, I'm more professional gaming journalist now than I ever was.
Yes, that's right.
Did I actually read what I was supposed to read? Yeah, I think I did.
Yes,
Yep.
you got it.
Next.
Nailed it. Okay, I'll take the next one because this is something I know Ty loves, but I'm actually gonna kick it off. Actually, hold on. Doing things. Boom, boom, boom. Oh,
Boom, boom,
God.
boom.
Okay.
Let me see.
Nope. Yes.
Control Ultimate Edition Cloud version.
Thank you. Yeah, so obviously, as everybody out there knows by now, cloud gaming is coming to the Switch in the West. It's actually already available. And this is, of course, thanks to the release of Control Ultimate Edition Cloud version and Hitman 3, which is actually scheduled to come out on the Switch as well in 2021. The games are coming from a familiar face. If you've watched any videos on the Famicast before, or listen to the show, YouTube videos, stuff like that, you might remember a name, Ubitus, a cloud provider that helped lay down the groundwork for not only Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the Switch, but also Resident Evil 7 and Phantasy Star Online 2 on the Switch. They did work on Dragon Quest X Online on the 3DS because that's a cloud-based version. They did like some kind of a port to what was it, Chromecast of Final Fantasy 13. It's a cloud version. Like, these guys have been doing cloud versions of games for a while, typically like here in Japan and around like the Asia and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the first time they're actually doing this in the West. Yeah, Australia, or what was it? One of those countries, a few countries, it's not available. Control. But I think like the largest markets are pretty much, they pretty much got it covered. But
it's weird. It's weird that Ubisoft are doing this for these two games when they didn't for Assassin's Creed, right? I mean, I know 90% of our YouTube comments are about that, and we enjoy them. But like, why not make Assassin's Creed Odyssey one of those games available in America? It's weird.
What I was thinking too, before literally at the beginning of the direct, they said this is the last direct for 2020. And I think it was because I knew about this information about these two cloud games beforehand, but I heard that because I was thinking like, holy shit, maybe we'll get Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the Switch. That'd be cool. But no, it's probably not going to happen unless Ubisoft just says, "Yep." I mean, honestly, I don't see why not. It's probably coming to Stadia, so it's like, what the hell, And I know that some people out there aren't really into the cloud when it comes to gaming, but and I can understand that there's no ownership of these things.
Right. Didn't Amazon say that? Somebody said that. Like, you don't own any of this. We own you. I think it was Amazon said that, didn't they? About their video service.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Right. Even if you buy movies from us, you don't own them.
Yeah, it's like we take it down. I mean, it was kind of. I mean, they have it in their fine print and stuff, so it's like you kind of buy at your own risk, I guess. But yeah,
so with Control, like I said in New Business, I played the network test. It lets you play for 10 minutes, and actually it makes you play for 10 minutes, even if you want to just buy the game, because it wants to make sure you can actually run it in your country. Sure. They don't want complaints. It's like, well, I spent 40 bones on it and it doesn't work. So you have to do the network test. And oh man, sidetrack here, but this was the time when I found out my fucking LAN adapter doesn't connect to my Switch anymore.
Right.
Which is like the worst fucking timing ever. So like it was forcing me to play it on Wi-Fi, and it wasn't good. Oof. So rip in peace well, I don't even think it is my LAN adapter. My LAN adapter works on everything else. It's just my Switch.
Could be the dock.
No, I have two docks, and I work to put it on both of them. Doesn't work.
Or a system update somehow lost the drivers for that particular Ethernet adapter model.
Yeah, it's literally the worst timing ever. But there you go.
Yeah.
And at the end of when you've done the network test, then you can buy it. And I believe it was like 4,800 yen in Japan, was it? Or...
Yeah, 4,980. Thanks for playing.
Okay. And in the fine print, it says there is no time limit on it, but we will tell you at least 6 months before when we're going to shut it down, which is not very promising, is it? It's like, well, you could buy it today, and then in a month's time they could say that, right? You don't know.
Yeah. And, one interesting thing here that is very different from Resident Evil 7 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because with those games, they were very upfront about saying that there is a time limit on this stuff. Resident Evil was
6 months.
6 months. And then Assassin's Creed Odyssey was for 2 years.
Right.
And the price was about the same for both, because in Japan it came out to something like 9,000 some odd yen or whatever. Not cheap. Kind of expensive, but that was like it was on par with the price of that game, like in Japan. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox versions were about the same price as well. And yeah, Resident Evil maybe about the same too. But yeah, there is a time limit. My time limit actually just ran up on my Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh.
I thought about re-upping. And James, you had mentioned at one point, because you had played Resident Evil 7 on the Switch.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about like, what the hell about like my game saves and stuff like that? What happens? But what'd they tell you, man? Like,
well, I think I emailed the Ubitas person, or I found it. I don't know how I found the email address anyway, and I emailed them, and I got a Google translated answer back, which was something along the lines of, "We will not delete your save data." So, yeah, I guess if you resubscribe years later, it will still be there. Yeah, I mean, what's it to them? Like 1 kilobyte of data on their servers? I don't think it matters, does it?
Sure. And it's interesting how this tech actually works, because if you maybe remember back to those other games that we just mentioned, or even just to this, what it's doing is pretty much like what I'm assuming what Stadia does too. It opens up basically a web browser, and then it is like basically running the game from there. And of course, on the Switch, you don't have access to these web browsers, on your own. But like what I did is kind of just a test. I just kind of copied the address and just put it in on like my phone, to see like, oh, well, what's going to happen? And it's like, oh, you can't access this because, it's encrypted and stuff like that. So it encrypts it somehow through like, your Switch and your Nintendo network account and stuff like that. That way I think that's how they probably keep track of, like, whose save is this, and like like that type of stuff too.
But it's tied to your Nintendo ID or whatever. So I mean, I don't know. It's a bit of a risk, isn't it, to spend another 2,000 yen and see if my Resident Evil save is still there.
Yeah.
Or am I gonna have to start from the beginning again?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the weird thing with Assassin's Creed here, they also sold the DLC, which I bought. Just because I wanted to, I just wanted to see like how it worked and just tell people about it, like on YouTube and stuff like that. And also I wanted to play it because I like the game a lot. It's great. I beat like the DLC for that. And then I was getting ready to do the second one. You had to do a whole bunch of stuff in the game. You could skip it, but I didn't want to be like a wimp. I wanted to actually go through and, like get it fairly. But then other games came out and stuff like that. But what we got here from Metal Mike James?
He says he got about 1 minute into the demo, the network test demo, before an error message appeared. Then it crashed. Aussie internet.
Right.
Yep. Rip in peace, Australians. Oh, we also had a Cyrus back from the dead. He says, "Oh, dang it, missed the Hyrule Warriors 2 parts. Now I'll have to go and download the show again later. Ugh."
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, Cyrus. Good to have you back.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, from what I played of Control, I really liked it. I thought it was a really cool game, and I'd like to play more. But yeah, with my LAN adapter, taking a shit, it's not looking good, because I don't want to play it at fucking 15 frames a second, occasionally cutting out. I mean, I didn't get the error message. I didn't get like your internet is not good enough to play this game. I didn't get that, but like. It wasn't good enough for me. They gave me a pass, but I did not give it a pass.
Yeah, one thing that Ubisoft said in like an interview a couple of years ago with maybe Famitsu or something, they said like, ideally, obviously playing with the wired connections the way you should be doing this. Yeah. But if you can't do that, don't play on like a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi connection. That's not good. You want to play on a 5 gigahertz connection. It gives you enough juice. At the time, they said too, even if you wanted to tether it to your phone, according to the tests that they ran, a 4G connection should be good enough at full strength. I tested that out. in my review of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it's not great. But I mean, there's a lot of factors going in there. It's yeah, but it's interesting because I mean, like I kind of said at the beginning of this conversation, I think the cool thing about having cloud games on the Switch is some of these games it's just not possible for these things to run on the system, and for these companies to bring them out onto these systems, they have to make all sorts of compromises that in the end might not be worth it. I mean, for every game that you have, like Witcher 3 or Doom that are ported to the Switch and stuff like that, is it worth it for like every game to try to do that? Because it's got to be fucking expensive to do that, and it's got to take a lot of time. So like, this seems like it could be like a stopgappy type of a thing for some companies to do until Nintendo beeps up the Switch or whatever the Switch is going to become.
Nah, I think it's more likely that we're going to get more cloud games, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, even Microsoft has kind of hinted that, they would bring fucking xCloud to the Switch before, releasing, actual native games.
Sure.
Yeah. They made a comment about that semi-recently, actually, because people were saying like, well, the first Ori was on it, and then the second one came out, even though you said you would never do it, the second Ori came out and it works great. Mm-hmm. And we had what else? Cuphead.
Yeah.
And then now people are just asking for every Microsoft game on the Switch now. And it's like, Microsoft, like, come on, guys. We're not going to release every single game on the Switch. Yeah, it's kind of like on a case-by-case basis,
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah. One interesting thing, just in terms of like console power and stuff like that, I wish I remembered actually the naming conventions behind this. This isn't on the agenda or anything like that, guys. But like, I guess Tegra, the guys that, the Switch is like based on like some kind of a special Tegra chip or something like that, right?
Right.
And there's some kind of tech that can upscale basically, these games that are like not natively like 4K, but like basically upscale like a 1080p game into like 4K with like, maybe better resolution, obviously, and better frame rates and stuff like that too. And this is some kind of a tech that they're working on. I mean, who knows if it's going to come to a future Switch iteration, but instead of just like actually boosting the Switch with like raw power, like you're seeing with, the new Xbox and new PlayStation, this could be like a way around that. I don't remember exactly how this tech works, but I mean, if you guys, have heard about this or even just do a quick Google search, you could probably find some more info about it, but it sounds really neat. And I think that seems like a more likely thing on top of cloud gaming that could be coming to Nintendo fans.
I don't see 4K coming to Switch, to be honest, even a Switch Pro. I mean, Nintendo always at least 2 generations behind with graphics, and
sure,
I don't know, 4K is still kind of new, to be honest. I mean,
but like I'm saying, like this tech, at least from my understanding of it, it doesn't make it so you have to make a native 4K game. This does all the work for you, right? Like through some kind of weird emulation, not an emulation. I can't think of the correct wording for it, but like that wouldn't necessarily mean that Nintendo would have to put in all of the work that these developers are doing for like these native 4K and sometimes fucking 8K games. Jesus Christ.
Image resampling, maybe? Is that what
something like that? Yeah. It's interesting, and we'll just have to kind of wait and see on that. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent about that stuff, guys.
Right. Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. Switch Pro 2021? Question mark. Exclamation point.
Yeah.
Next.
Well, yeah.
Oh wait, can I make some comments about cloud gaming?
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, sorry.
Whatever will he say?
Yeah.
Don't. Right, like even like I think James is almost kind of getting in that direction, but I think cloud gaming, like, the selling point is that it's just surpassing a graphical bottleneck, but like that's not the big bottleneck that consumers have. I feel, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I think internet data is the real bottleneck. Like,
right?
How many people can actually fully enjoy a cloud game? Like, do they have internet good enough? Do they? I mean, the Switch is a fucking portable system. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, and like I said, even though that these Ubitus guys said like, well, if you do it on a 4G connection, it's like, dude, I did. It is not good.
Right? Yeah. And so anyway, the whole thing reads to me as a nefarious plot to remove ownership from video game players. And so they buy a fucking game that doesn't exist and disappears into the nether after 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I would like to do is I would like to urge you two guys and all of our listeners to actively try to sabotage cloud gaming. And you can start by leaving 1-star user reviews on every single one. Lots of angry tweets, lots of making fun of everyone. I mean, it's not just Stadia anymore. I know that's like fish in a barrel, right? It fucking sucks, but now Microsoft is doing cloud gaming, and we have to shit on them too. As much as I hate to, I'm going to. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, take to the streets. This is what's important right now.
This is the most important day of your life, people.
Right. I mean, to me, it just kind of reads as like a basic consumer rights thing, and like making up a fake problem. In order to fucking steal ownership from video game consumers.
I honestly think that the way that I read like an article that kind of talked about this, and it definitely puts it a hell of a lot more eloquently than I probably ever can. But it was saying like the way that the approach for cloud gaming right now is not ideal, because this is not, it's not flying off the shelves or anything like that. A lot of people are skeptical. A lot of people, like you, like I want to fucking own my games. Trust me, I love owning games. I have a whole fucking room full of stuff that I don't need or even play. But like, I think for cloud gaming to even be successful, the way they're doing it is not going to be it. They have to find some kind of something to make it so where if they make it different, because like right now it's just playing the same stuff that you can play elsewhere, but just on the cloud.
It's funny, isn't it? Because like there's been a lot of push towards physical stuff, especially in the Switch generation. Like people going mental asking for like even the smallest indie game to have a physical version.
Right. People love to own things. It's like a primal instinct.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I like the implication that cloud gaming can never succeed. But
yeah, I mean,
we should actively help kill it.
Like what this article I was reading was like, okay, think about like the mobile gaming market, like in 2009. You had some big companies that were releasing like kind of like quote unquote fully featured games on mobile and like charging a really, really high premium for these things. Think about like Square Enix releasing shit versions of like Final Fantasy on mobile for like $30 or $40. Then if they don't sell well because people are like, why the hell do I want to pay for this on my fucking phone? But then for better or worse, probably worse, guys figured out like, hey man, let's just do free to play and just make it so people can give us money if they want to, and blah blah gotcha mechanics, they kind of cracked the market. And I think for cloud gaming to work, they're going to have to crack it in some way, which could or could not be bad for the consumer.
Oh yeah, it could be. Yeah.
I get it. I get exactly what you're saying, man. Like, yeah, I love owning my stuff.
Yeah. The last two big gaming trends have like completely flown by me, which is like VR and now cloud gaming. It's like both things. I just think it's too early, mate. Yeah. Work on the tech before you start selling that to us,
dude.
Prices.
Even for VR, we've talked about this before, and this is my opinion. I think it is just too isolating to be anything that's going to catch on for families and stuff like that. People are going to be spending money. Yes, single guys, whatever, that's fine. But I think to
Hikikomoris, they're going to love it.
Hell yeah.
To get a wider reach for this stuff, you got to be able to reach out to more people than just like tech heads. And 5 years ago, tech heads were like, VR is going to be it, man. And well, it's 5 years later. Where the hell is it? You know what I mean? Where's the killer app? So there's a game that was kind of cool. It's like, what?
We got gifted a $1,800 VR helmet, and it worked beautifully on our $25,000 PC. Man, I think people are gonna love it.
Exactly. Facebook must have been reading that article.
In my one-room apartment, when I went back and I'm living by myself, it was great to play. You know, good luck to that.
Yeah. All right, Tide. Was there anything else you wanted to say, man? Sorry, dude.
Not really. I think VR has a future, but cloud gaming doesn't.
Sure.
Yeah. VR was still in the Atari 2600 stage, but we'll get there one day.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we're up to the Commodore 64 stage.
Okay, slow down there.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, one other interesting thing that came out of the Nintendo Direct Mini, there was a new / maybe like I think a port from a mobile game from HAL Laboratories that is part-time UFO or Hataraku UFO out on the Switch.
Say right, Danny. That's not how Japanese people say UFO. There you go.
Sorry, excuse me. Enunciation. Sorry. God damn it. But yeah, that's available. A lot of people are digging it. I haven't tried it out myself. Don't know.
Yeah, I heard about this. You said it's a phone game, right?
It was, yeah, mobile, yeah.
Yeah, it was that weird thing. It's like, oh, HAL Laboratory have a new game on the phone.
Yeah.
And then everyone just forgot about it immediately. So yeah, it makes sense to have it on Switch.
Yeah.
980 yen. Not too bad, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's gone for the box boy price range. Same guys as well.
Yeah. Cool.
Next.
Yes. So, yeah. Other than that, I mean, I really didn't care about anything else really that came out of the Nintendo Direct Mini. Yeah. So
I mean, there's some big things announced there. I mean, it's pretty wild.
Well, I mean, you know,
nothing for us, but yeah.
Yeah.
No My Heroes 1, 2, and then was there a new trailer for 3 or not?
There was a new thing for 3. Yeah, some new footage and stuff, and
Bayonetta needs to do one of those too, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, well, Bayonetta 1 and 2 has already been out for ages, but like 3, then you need to get some hype up for 3. I think people have forgotten about it.
I bet that's what they're working on. Maybe we'll see something about that early next year. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
it's been a while, since they've said anything. Astral Chain's been done since last year. I mean, even though with the pandemic and stuff, I still think that they've been plugging away at.
Is the Bayonetta 1 is on everything. Bayonetta 2 is Nintendo exclusive, right? And 3 is as well. But Not My Heroes is 1 and 2 is on everything, but is 3 going to be exclusive?
I think so.
It's weird, isn't it? There's a lot of kind of similar, parallels with the Bayonetta and the No My Heroes kind of thing,
Yeah,
both friends of the show, both have Famicast interviews on the YouTube channel. Kamiya, friend of the show.
We hang out a ton, usually during these interviews that happen only once, but hey, what are you going to do?
Suda51, another friend of the show. Great guys.
Yeah.
Best of luck to him. Very busy at the moment. That's why they can't make it on the show, but
obviously. Well, moving on just to some other news parts here. Ty, do you want to take this first bit of other news?
Hell yeah.
News.
Update is coming to Super Mario 3D Collection on November 16th. That will add inverted control settings. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Before, this simply wasn't possible. This sounds like a thing I might use.
Yeah, because it was weird because it was really weird for Super Mario Sunshine because they changed how the original controls were in the game, because originally I'm trying to remember, they were uninverted, or it was basically the opposite of what the original GameCube version was in this Switch version. And that was the only game that was just completely different. I don't know. And now they're actually giving more options, and yeah, that's coming in the middle of this month. So look forward to that. If you
game's still shit though.
Yeah, there's that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Don't judge a book by its cover. Oh wait, you already played the game.
Weird that Mario 64 gets inverted camera controls. So you're pressing right on the camera, right camera button, and it goes left.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think we talked about this, man. I would really love to see just a modern control system added to Mario 64, but I think that's just way too much work for Nintendo to actually fucking do. They're not going to do it. But
yeah, I mean, I think I've said this before, but when I heard that they were, well, not heard, but like the rumors were that 64 was getting a, you know, remake, I just assumed they were just going to do it in the Odyssey engine.
Yeah, yeah.
With all of those, because all the work's been done. I mean, spoilers, there's a Super Mario 64 stage in Odyssey.
Yeah, dude, that's kind of what I thought too. But alas.
Which is awesome, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and take this next bit of news here. So this is a Dragon Quest related thing. Just over the past weekend or so, there was a like a Dragon Quest event that happened over the weekend, a Dragon Quest 10 event called the Dragon Quest 10 Akimatsuri 2020, where Huge Hori mentioned that since next year will mark the 35th anniversary of the series, which originally came out in May 1986, he said that they're going to be making some announcements around that time, maybe around like May or something like that. So we already do know that Dragon Quest 12 is something that's happening. Like that was something that they had talked about last year. There is a Dragon Quest like RPG, like an action RPG that's coming out at some point in 2021 called Dragon Quest Daiboken, and it's coming to consoles in 2021. There's a Dragon Quest Monsters game that people have known have been in development since 2018. So I think maybe some of the stuff that we'll see is already stuff that we expect. But, you know, Dragon Quest is pretty cool. I know, James, I know you liked 11 a lot.
So what's this Daiboken? That's not Final Fantasy 12, right?
No, that's a separate deal.
Separate. So they're working on 12, and then they announced Daiboken.
Yeah. There's some other subtitle for it too. I forgot to write it down. But
so this Daiboken game will probably come out before 12. That's like, you know, keep you going or whatever.
That's what it kind of would make sense to me. Yeah.
Right, like Crystal Chronicles. keep you going for Final Fantasy 12 or whatever.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, this isn't a port of a GameCube game that's not done well. Well, ideally speaking, right? But
next. I'll take the next one actually.
Exactly.
I just downloaded this.
Yes.
Game Trials, one of the best features of having a Nintendo Switch Online account, where you get free games for about a week.
Yep.
And they seem to be doing them a lot more frequently this year of all the years, right? Because it used to be like one every 2 months, and one every 6 months.
Sometimes I was like, here, we're going to give you one now. Then we're not going to give you one for 7 months. Then we're going to give you like 2 in a couple of weeks. And it's like, wait, what?
So we just got off Overwatch, and then now we're straight into what's this one called? Rune Factory 4 Special. So yeah, started on the 2nd of November, and it'll go until the 8th. And also, the game is going to be half off. So it's down to the absolute bargain price of 2,739 yen, which is basically what, $27?
Yeah.
Down from 55-ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I've downloaded it. I'll check it out. I mean, I think they're working on Rune Factory 5, aren't they? So this is
that's right. That's right.
Get people warmed up or whatever. It's a good idea.
I think that was part of the thing. Like during the direct, at least here in Japan, they talked a little bit about Rune Factory 5, I guess, and then they said like, hey, and this is going to be, you know, a thing. So
before Overwatch, there was Disgaea 5 as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Wasn't such a fan of that one. But it's weird, you know, having an RPG for a week. I mean, what are you going to do with that? I mean,
but
the first few hours.
But these hardcore sales that they're doing too, especially here and Cyrus too. Gotta love those Christmas sales. Fill the store with high-profile demos. Yes, you know, if you really dig this, I mean, that's actually a pretty decent price, you know, especially for Japan.
That's well, it's download, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know. Japanese people would download a RPG. They'd rather spend $90 and get the physical.
Yeah, probably. But
cool.
Never know. Okie doke. Well, that is actually going to do it for the news. So let's go. Actually, James, do you hear something backing in?
I do. Bring it in, boys. Bring it in. Watch yourselves.
Oh, what stinks?
Oh, God. It smells like dinner.
Don't get some on your clothes there. That is right. It is time for my garbage bag of goodness. if you're new to the channel, new to the show, this is where I go to the very depths of the eShop and find the tastiest morsels of garbage for the low price of, less than $1. So yeah, I'm going to try and cram my sack. No, that came out wrong. Let me try that again. I'm going to cram my bag full of games until it reaches $1. Not a cent over. Yes. Let me just get this one up here. So yeah, actually it was pretty much slim pickings today. I was a bit disappointed. There wasn't, much tasty garbage, unfortunately. And a lot of stuff we've already had. I never repeat games, by the way, in case you were wondering. I know Danny likes to say, didn't we have this one before? No, I remember every single bit of garbage I give to you guys. So don't give
James, I will say, I think it's been about a year since the Garbage Bag of Goodness started on the Famicast. Yeah, it was about November last year, yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
Right.
I wonder if it should be like a spin-off video series. I wonder if people want to see that on the YouTube channel.
Spin-off 4-hour-long podcast.
like a 20-minute video of me just rummaging through the garbage.
No, what you should do a best of compilation.
Right.
And then actually go to like a real dumpster and jump in it, just for, posterity's sake. And yeah,
might do that. Not going to do that. So yeah, the first one we got here is Mecho Tales.
Of course.
And I double checked. We haven't had this one before. I know it sounds familiar.
I thought you remembered everything off the top of your head.
I do. By Arcade Distillery. Sounds like they like their alcohol at that gaming studio. Best of luck to them. This was 99 cents. It's now down to 9 cents. 90% off. And let's check it out. So this is an all-new adventure in the world of Mecho Wars. Run and shoot through what you're waiting for it, Wayne.
Yeah.
Through chaotic platforming levels filled with spikes, bottomless pits, and an army of deadly robots. Go it alone or team up with your friends in 4-player local co-op. Not too impressed with the timing there, mate. 4-player local co-op. Directed by Luke Bernard. Didn't he direct The Fifth Element? The Mila Jovovich, sci-fi epic, also starring Bruce Willis.
Let's just say yes.
Oh no, that was Luc Besson. Sorry.
Same thing, man.
Same thing in it. French guy.
Yeah.
I like all of Luke's games. It's great. He's a legend in France.
Yes.
Rated E for violence. That doesn't make sense.
For fantasy violence.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes it better, does it?
See?
Okay. This reminds me of that RPG Moon that people are always going on about. That main character looks like that guy. Like it's got no arms or legs attached.
So is this a series? Because they kind of presented it like that.
Dude, it's from the series directed by Luke. What's his name again? Bernard.
Yeah, Andy Bernard's brother.
Yeah. So it's a platformer. You can shoot the blocks. So
you can climb those ladders, James.
Yeah.
Ooh, ladders.
Can't do that in certain games that we talked about earlier today, though.
It doesn't. Yeah, right.
Christ, this game it's hard to look at. There's like no contrast between the background and the foreground.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to do shading in Microsoft Paint, isn't it? Right?
Yes.
Right. I'm pretty sure there's a line of code you can just like copy and paste from somewhere to like lower the contrast to the background. Right?
That's impossible even for a computer.
God damn it.
Right. Oh, you mean okay, yeah. Well, for I don't know what computer he's using to do this, but it might not be possible on his on the hardware. It might be using a pen PC from the 90s.
Yeah, it could be using a Mac.
Could be.
Boom.
Cyrus brings up a good point. He says, "Man, if those guys did this in Microsoft Paint, I want to hire these guys."
Maybe you should, Cyrus.
Yeah,
cheeky bastard. So yeah, hold on. Sorry, I just lost the share there, didn't I? 1 second.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Here we are. So we've moved on from the Tales. You guys good? You can see everything?
Yeah, now we can.
Yep.
You can, yeah. Cool. So yeah, we're not for Mecha Tales. I think we've had Flow Lines VS, haven't we? Or do we have Flow Lines and this is the sequel? I don't know. I think no, I think we did have that one. Hexologic, I think we had that one. Pet Shop Boys, sorry, Pet Shop Snacks. No, I'm not going to even look at that one. That looks like a fucking smartphone game. Let's check out this one. War Theater by Arcade Distillery. Hey, they're not drunk enough to make multiple games.
Thomas Bradbury's back,
week.
whatever his name is.
All right, is it Luc Besson again?
Yes, that's what I said.
Where is it? No, it's not. It doesn't have his name on this one. Turn-based strategy with RPG elements. Take command of 7 unique heroes, each with a specialization to change the course of every battle. Okay. So is this like a Fire Emblem thing? It looks like the SteamWorld games, but like done badly. Like really badly. Oh, okay. So it's like what do you call it? The Advance Wars.
Yeah, like
Fire Emblem. It has heroes and leveling and RPG elements.
Yeah,
strategy. It just has like all of the anime just like fucking stripped out.
Rated T for blood and violence. Wow. That shaky war style camera there. Oh, okay. So it does have 3D-ness, right?
Okay.
You could see the camera tilt up and down there.
Not really, but
okay, take my word for it. Oh yeah, it is very much like Advance Wars, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say throw this one in.
Tommy's out there.
Yeah, this is Advance Wars, man. But like done on a bargain basement price. Yeah, it's got decent effects to it. All right.
Yeah, for
used to be $10.
I mean, yeah, okay.
$10 down to 65 cents. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. 65 cents.
That's a pretty good
I would
deal.
say throw that in. So what we're at 65 plus 9. Okay.
Yeah.
So up to 74 cents. Oh shit, we've only got 26 left. There's another Mecha Wars game. Wait, am I seeing double here? Yeah, Mecha Tales. Okay, maybe we can get the whole trilogy in there. Is this guy by the famous dude? No, it doesn't mention his name. It only mentions his name in the first one.
Well,
it's like
yeah.
We tried putting his name on the eShop page, but we weren't getting any extra sales, so we stopped putting his name on it. It's the same game. This is the same fucking game. Mecha Wars Desert Ashes with even worse characters on it. Jesus Christ, look at that guy.
Well, I guess they just took it to the desert.
Did they find my high school notebook doodles?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't know. No, we can't have both of those in there. You have to choose one, either the first one or Desert Ashes, the sequel.
Oh man, I want to see this game. Suicide Guy.
Yeah, I think
Gunya fight.
No, I think we've had. Did we have a Gunya fight? I think we did. A long time ago. That might have been one of the first. Okay, Suicide Guy, Sleeping Deeply. That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it. In this chapter of Suicide Guy, you'll
There's
be
new chapter. There's like an old chapter, I guess.
Yeah. Even more insane puzzles generated by the surreal dreams of the guy. You'll encounter the weirdest of the living beings as you go deeper and deeper into his subconscious. This time, to wake him up from, you'll need all your skills. So it's basically Inception, directed by Christopher Nolan, in game
really
form.
colorful version of Inception.
Yeah, this game looks pretty good, actually. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's probably a couple of definitely some Unity assets in this picture. Holy shit. But
not as dark as I was expecting.
Yeah, a game called Suicide Guy, and there's a giant bottle of beer on top of a volcano? Question mark? Okay.
Yes.
Does it have a trailer? Oh, it does have a trailer. Okay, let's check out the trailer. I mean, it's weird having a game just called literally Suicide Guy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why we clicked it.
Yeah.
Wonder why. Is this allowed in Japan? I don't know. Wow,
The
this
police
is
are coming
very...
to your house right now.
I love this. Wow, holy shit, they're going for this cinematic trailer here. Oh, it's a giant Tamagotchi. You see that?
Wild.
Wow. Okay. I have no idea what the hell is going on here. But there's lots of... There's an X-Men comic, and they haven't even bothered to try and change it. Literally just says
wow,
X-Men.
holy shit. Yeah, just like... I recognize that cover, too.
Holy shit. Is this... What is it? A parkour game now? So it's a driving game, a 3D platformer, a first-person parkour game, a guy drinking a beer on a couch, sleeping deeply. Wow. I have no idea what this game is.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of different ways of playing, I guess.
Yeah, this is the surreality I signed up for.
Well, it was $6, but it's down to 77 cents. So you might have to choose. You can have one expensive game and one cheap game. Well, everyone's getting Mecho Tales, and then you can either, whether you like it or not, and then you can choose War Theater or Mecho Wars, Desert Ashes, or Suicide Guy. I'm assuming you're going for Suicide Guy.
I'd say Suicide Guy just for the basis of the name and just the general insanity of everything about it. I mean, and also just the unknowns. Like, what is this thing? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. No, sorry, Ty. Gunya Fight is not going in because that's 99 cents. Nothing else will fit in.
Too bad.
That's insanity. You don't want to be spending that much on games, do you?
Hell no.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the garbage bag of goodness. Hope you get some goodness out of the garbage. Back to you in the studio, Danny.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, James. Next, we're going to go ahead and move on to some feedback from you guys.
.com. Wrong section. Sorry.
Yeah. You want to take off your screen capture?
Oh, sorry. Can you not do that? Okay.
Probably could have, but it doesn't. It's fine. Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to some feedback from you guys. If you guys have some stuff that you want to say to us, questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to hit us up at thefamicast@gmail.com. Of course, if you're watching us here on YouTube, you can sign up in the comments below, or if you're watching us live, you can hit us up just in the conversation thread that's going on right now, and you can get your comment or question read out on the air like these guys. So I'm going to tackle a couple of different things from YouTube. And James, could you get some stuff pulled up from Twitter while I'm going through? Okay. Well, from YouTube, actually on the last episode of the show, episode 185, we had a nice comment from Chariot Goblin, like we always do. First saying, "Hey guys, congrats on reaching 1,000 subs on YouTube. Fun fact, I was actually the 100th person to sub to this channel. Also, I see you guys tend to reference Borat a lot. As of typing this, we are 2 days away from the Borat sequel releasing. So, yes. Did I like Borat? Did
Hell
we
yeah.
all watch the new one?
I am very excited to watch it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's on Amazon, isn't it?
Amazon Prime.
So we're never going to own it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually surprised that it was available here. Because I just think, sometimes with some things with Amazon Prime and stuff, it just isn't available, or it's available way later. But yeah, this is pretty much day and date. So yeah, I think I watched it the weekend that it came out because just like, what the hell, why not? I think I stayed up to like 2:30 in the morning on a work day. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, when there's some like British comedy like movie coming out, I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to be seeing that unless I do things.
Right. Yes. You don't have to tell us. It's okay, James.
Yep.
Yeah, we had another comment from our boy John Cario. He said, "Hey, what do we have to do to make Famicast Phasmophobia? Or, excuse me, Globophasmophobe, the thing that you said earlier, the CD Well, anyway, no. What do you have to do to make Phasmophobia a thing? I think for it to come to the Switch would be the easiest thing for
Now
that.
just get a PC.
Okay.
Ty's going to buy his old gaming laptops.
Can't wait.
Great.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
I could play it on stream, and you guys could like join in and take notes for me.
Yeah, that's good. Good call.
Yeah. A couple of other little comments here. There's a comment on the Animal Crossing N64 retro review from Mondi Spartan. As a person who started Animal Crossing straight in Pocket Camp and New Horizons, it's interesting to know some history behind the franchise, especially in the very first roots. Yeah, so if you have any interest in Animal Crossing, we got a pretty cool review, if I do say so myself, of the N64 version of the game, so you should definitely check that out. There's a cool comment for James's Mario Kart live home circuit video from Ash. Ash said, I was scared because I wanted to use my room and my dad's office as a track, and I wasn't sure if it would fit. But James literally saved the day by explaining how you can. I
got his dad evicted, and now he's got the whole office to himself. You're welcome.
There it is.
Good stuff.
That's what we do.
Yeah. One last comment here. This is a sports one, so feel free to barf in a bag while I have fun.
Way ahead of me.
Yeah, this is about a comment on NBA 2K 21 review that I did. This is from Hus D. And in the video, I commented that Konami, of all fucking companies, here for their baseball games, they're on like a 2-year cycle, which is actually pretty cool if you think about it. It's really good for the consumer because for multiple reasons. One, if they like the sport, they don't have to buy a game every year to play it. Basically, you buy one game every 2 years, and there's like an update cycle. They do updates and stuff like that, roster updates, some maybe some gameplay a little bit, but that's pretty cool. And then ideally, in 2 years, they'll have some new features and some really cool stuff to add to the game. And I mentioned, like in my review for NBA 2K, that I don't think Western developers would ever do that because there's just too much fucking money on the table. As cool as it would be for them to do, especially because NBA 2K21 is not great. But he said, I totally agree about the 2-year cycle. I think it'd be good. I think it would make for a better game and bigger jump in gameplay, graphics, frame rate, and stuff like that. So, yeah, these yearly cycles for games can be kind of a crapshoot, and hopefully some companies are figuring it out. But James, what do we got on Twitter, dude?
Yeah. So got a message from Many Drives, Muki EX. He says, well, I guess he was involved in a thread about the last Nintendo Direct showcase thing. Mm-hmm. And it says, oh shit, looks like Hitman and Control are new for the Switch. Just ask the Famicast crew. They've been doing the cloud stuff for ages in Moontown.
Bang!
Yeah. Hell yeah. Right.
We have.
Ty especially.
Yeah, I mean, we're all experts on cloud gaming.
Yes, basically made it, man.
Yeah, I invented it.
Russ Greeno, question for the show. Have you ever almost become a scalper? I don't think we should ask this question to Ty. Recently, my local Tesco was clearing out its Lego Mario starter kits for 12 squids, and they retail for about 50. So for a brief few seconds, I was tempted to snap them all up for a resale profit, but I resisted. Good man.
You should have.
I was going to say, Ty would be like, buy them all.
No, why not? I mean, like, okay, so I have definitely bought a lot of things just to resell them later, but like nothing like new at launch. Like I've never pre-ordered something just to resell it. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm a huge bargain hunter for like physical items. Like I will root through every secondhand shop, every book off, every hometown redneck pawn shop to find the most haunted possible video game. So I can either keep it for myself or flip it on eBay if the money's good enough. And I've done it many times. And not only is it insanely profitable from time to time, but you're also doing a great service to collectors and video games. Once you find that copy of fucking Super Turrican in some backwater pawn shop, which I've done, and get it into the hands of someone who actually appreciates it.
Yeah,
Japan must be crazy for Xbox stuff, Ty, because like you can get pretty much every Xbox game ever made for like 100 yen, right?
Yeah, a lot of times if you buy the Japanese version, though, it's like a unique version that's like region locked and only has Japanese language.
Right.
Kind of depends, but that also means you can double up on achievement points if you're an achievement hunter.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I know for me, I mean, like Ty, I'm a man who loves to find a good bargain on old stuff or this stuff that not many people care about. For me, a lot of retro stuff. I did a video about finding an autographed copy of a game from a certain person that's very famous. It seems legit. Yeah, sometimes, or just finding this stuff. I haven't had the heart to like sell any of my stuff yet, so most of it is just literally just sitting in this room. But like, if there comes a time where I'm like, okay, I don't have any sentimental value to X, Y, or Z, I wouldn't be against selling it. I mean, there are some things that I would, like things that I brought from America here that I had since like my childhood. But, some things that I bought here that, there are some things that I wouldn't mind if I had to get rid of, I would, you know what I mean?
James Allen in the chat, he just reminded me of something. He said he may have scalped Amiibo when they were first selling like wildfire. I mean, I did buy an Amiibo here in Japan and sold it, but it wasn't like at a scalper price. It's like somebody asked me to get it because it was easier to buy in Japan, and I just like maybe I made like $2 profit on it, something like that. But that was more like just to help someone out. Sure. And to cover the postage cost, it wasn't ready to make a wild profit. While James Allen is on here, we got a message from him on Twitter. He said, he used the hashtag. God bless him. Do you remember the hashtag I asked everyone to use? Hashtag I just shat my pants.
Oh, right.
He actually used it.
Nice.
So James Allen says, hashtag I just shat my pants. Hashtag games that I shit my pants at. Happy Halloween to you all. For me, the only game series that evoked a turtle head popping out are the games in the Alien series. Alien Resurrection on the PS1 was the first, and most recently Alien Isolation. Yeah, Alien Isolation has caused a lot of heart attacks. A lot of people have died playing that game in real life. So yeah, that's on Switch as well, actually, and it's supposed to be, I think, maybe the only game in existence which runs and looks better on Switch than PS4, which I can't believe that is a sentence that exists, but they have it.
Yeah, geez.
That is completely
what happened, right?
Yeah, not Game Explained, the what do you call them? The guys, the technical wizards, the one that do all the frame rate checks and everything. They did a full Digital Foundry, is it? Okay. Yeah, they did the full breakdown of that, and they were like, they just couldn't believe what they were seeing. It was like, wait, this is better on Switch. So yeah, it's a good port. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting a scary game, well, Halloween's already finished, but if you want
to, you like scary stuff,
yeah. For whatever, Guy Fawkes night.
Remember, 5th of November.
Yes, V for November. Let's all remember the 5th of November.
Hugo Weaving.
That's how it goes.
I'm not really. I mean, it's a guy who wanted to kill everyone in government. I can't really blame him these days.
It's relatable.
Wait, can we delete that bit? I don't want to.
Leave it in. We'll fix it in post. No, we won't.
Well, I don't know. This guy, RPG Goblin. Is it Chariot Goblin? Maybe it is.
I don't know. Chariot Goblin, that's you. Let us know.
Switched to RPG mode.
Yes.
Well, he CC'd both us and 84Play. I guess he didn't know which Japan-based podcast to send this to, so he sent it to both of us. But we'll allow it. He said, I just finished up Xenoblade Chronicles DE. I think that means it's comes from Germany.
Yes, or definitive edition, but
yeah. Which should I start next? 1, Hades. 2, Final Fantasy 12. Or 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. That's confusing. Number 3, Fire Emblem 3. Okay. Number 4, Dragon Quest 11. Or finally 5, your choice of suggestions. Insert RPG or JRPG here.
Hades.
He's already got Dragon Quest 11 on there. That would
Mm-hmm.
be my suggestion because that's the only one I've played.
Yeah. DQ11's great game. That I played for like only about 10 hours, 15 hours or whatever. But
try that game that's on the game trials at the moment. What's it called? Yeah, Rune Factory 4. Get it for free. Don't need to buy anything. And if you don't know how to get it for free using your Japanese online account, we got a video for you.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, channel.
Yeah, from the list, I'd say Hades. It's freaking fantastic. We talked about it on the show. There's so much challenge there. There's a lot of replayability. Yeah, I'd say between this or Dragon Quest 11, you probably can't go wrong with it.
Ty, there's like 2 RPGs that you like, isn't there? What are they again?
Let's see, Final Fantasy 6 and Fallout 2.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
There are a couple others, but those are the famous.
Didn't you buy a JRPG on Switch? Like a?
Oh yeah, I bought Grandia 1 and 2. I was gonna say I love Grandia 2.
Yeah, that's good. That's it. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, yeah, I think he was asking for a Switch suggestion, so there you go.
Oh yeah, get the Grandia collection.
Bada boom. All right then, Danny, are we done for feedback?
Yes. So that is going to do it for the feedback, and actually, that is going to do it for the show. So we're going to go ahead and give out our Twitter handles and stuff like that. So if you guys want to follow us, you can. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at DannyBiv, DANNYBIV. James, where can these lovely folks find you?
At Famicomplicated. Let us know what you think about cloud gaming.
Yeah, for sure.
And if it's positive, we'll just delete it.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll delete cloud gaming.
Yes. And Ty?
Super Cat Drugs. Oh man, there's a lot of drive-by funny comments lately. Yeah. Check out the Wu-Tang is Forever political yard sign. That's the kind of high quality content you can expect me to retweet.
Excellent. All right. Well, that is going to do it for the show. Thank you guys that have joined us live. It's always fun to interact with you guys. Of course, for James and Ty, I always like getting together with you guys and just chatting. And but we will catch you guys in 2 weeks' time for the next episode of the show. Stay safe out there.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. We'll see. Stay safe out there. And just try to enjoy the rest of your week. We'll catch you later.
Toodles.
Peace.